Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. We're here to talk about Big Brother Canada episode 15. We're getting in there. I think we're past the halfway mark.
Are we? Because the seasons kind of last forever, but this was such a good episode. It
Great
was
episode.
maybe one of my favorites. But first, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, give it a like. Other things that you do, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna talk through this episode, but we have spoilers. I mean, we usually have veto spoilers, but apparently we have nom spoilers as well because
Yes.
it's just straight up ended to be continued in the middle of a meltdown.
Yes, and I'm wondering why, because I feel like they have enough content for Wednesday as well.
Oh,
But
right.
I was really happy just to see how they start off the episode was the fallout after Nisha's eviction. I thought that was a really great place to start because everybody wanted to know what happened during the double eviction. So that was really fun to have them like go back there and we could see all the scrambling that was happening.
Yeah, and there was quite, some blowback, some meltdown, some hot messiness that we needed to see. So if that means we get, a to be continued here, I'm fine with that. I'm a
Especially like it was an okay to be continued. I remember there was one where I was like, oh really, this is, and then they cut off the feeds. I don't know if it was it was basically a to be continued and they cut off the feeds, and I was just like, that's not fun for a whole weekend not having feeds. Like at least I know what's going on and what's happened.
Oh,
So
right. Yes, yes. I
yeah,
might
you
either
remember that was last
remember.
season. It wasn't
Okay,
a
yeah, it
to
was
be
last season.
continued
Yeah,
specifically, but it wasn't a complete resolution of what happened, you know?
right.
Or no, it was. We didn't get the head of household competition or something. And
Yeah,
then
I remember them just like throwing us to the wolves. We didn't see anything
so angry. But
for
this was still an
days.
enjoyable episode for me too.
Yeah, we needed to see all of this hot messness, and I'm wondering if they're waiting to see how they should edit Marty. Is why they're delaying it. Slash other people.
That's my thought. Or also
Just the
yeah,
edit in
yeah.
general, I'll
It's
say.
definitely the editors were like, I don't know what to do with this right now, so we will have to see.
Let's hold that thought. Well, let's get into it, you guys, because we are starting during this double. And Helena is sobbing for voting out Tanisha. That was really difficult for her. She was not happy to do it. And boy, the blame is all on her. And she feels it.
Well, but it doesn't stop her from doing anything. Like
No.
she's definitely like knows when she does something wrong, knows when she stabs people in the back, and she does it anyways. So she's asking for forgiveness, I guess. And so I can't ask for anything better. But
Look, she's
I don't
being
know.
played like everybody else. They're being played by Kevin. Kevin told her to do it. She struggled with it, but she's still going to do what Kevin tells her to do.
It's amazing how much this episode really shows how a lot about how much power he has in the house. Like and people don't see him really having the amount of power that he does, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. A lot of what happened in this episode tonight, I was like, this is Kevin. This is all going on his resume, or credit to him, at least from us. Then we see Kevin and Marty. We see, okay, we knew from the weekend of feeds that something went down with the Gino vote. And Marty was pissed. And so we're going to start to get into what exactly happened. And it first starts with just a little seed planting by Mr. Kevin being like, do we have to vote to get out Gino? Crazy, right? Crazy. Do we?
I mean,
No.
it
Do we?
was the right move. It
Yes.
definitely was the time.
Of
You were never
course.
ever going to have Gino up on the block so easily, where it would be I guess it would be before jury at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
And like I think it'd be a perfect point to just like cut it. You don't have to worry about his jury management with him. Like I think it would have been the move. And
just to recap, the house was emotionally upset with Jess and Jess's HOH. But you have the male counterpart of a showman's on the block in a crazy double eviction, you take him out. That is
Yes.
just what you do.
Double evictions are for the people that you do not think you'll ever have the chance to get out.
Yeah.
It doesn't go for the house target. Like, you don't waste it on the house
No.
target.
Well, then we have a conversation with Josh and Betty, and they are like, isn't it better for our game to keep, like, Jess isn't coming for us? Like, we have this opportunity to take out Gino. They're basically saying what we're saying, but like, can they get the votes? Betty's like, I don't know that we have the votes. Can we even get the votes? So Josh is going to first bring in Kevin. Kevin is like, music to my
Yep.
ears. Let's go. There's 2 more votes sitting right outside. Let's bring them in. Marty and Helena, and we can make this happen. Marty and Helena come in, and then we get just an interesting conversation.
Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Thumbs up. Are we doing, like, everybody was like not getting on the same page, but still getting on the same page. Like, I probably would have been in the camp with Helena and Marty, because I felt that it's a go, we're on, let's do this. So I would have voted out Gino in that situation.
I mean, it was definitely a lot of people kind of trying not to be the one. Kevin was really the only one who was like, yes, let's do it. Like, we can do this. Just everyone needs to say they're going to do it. Whereas Helena was like, just tell me what to do. I'll do whatever. Just tell me what to do. Marty's like, yeah. Is everyone saying yes? Betty's kind of like him and hawing. Like, so even though they're walking out the door saying, yes, it's a go, it's a go, you also don't have a bunch of people being like, yes, 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 yes. So it is mixed and complicated. And then when we see the setup, like, honestly, Marty and Helena being on a separate couch, that's what messed this up, right? That's what messed it up.
That, and unfortunately, Betty's paranoia also messed it up, because if it was maybe somebody else that had a little bit more nerves of steel, that are like, really like, we're doing this, like, it's done, I don't think that another person would have read Marty's, like, how he was acting as, oh no, he's not going to do it. They would be like, oh no, he's going to do it, but he's feeling really bad about it because it's his friend. And so I think it's just because she doesn't really have that much game knowledge, and she hasn't really been playing that much. And so I think she chickened out. She pulled the plug, and Marty wasn't making any eye contact for them to be like, thumbs down.
Yeah. And I'm not really sure how much Betty really even wanted to do it. And maybe that's because she's not thinking games. She's just thinking emotionally. Just to get Tanisha out, and Betty's not happy about that. So even though people are saying we should go for Gino, I feel like she was just looking for an excuse to not go for Gino. And she's basically blaming it on Marty. She's like, Marty doesn't look like he's going to do it, guys. Okay. It's off. It's off.
She chickened out.
Yeah, she chickened out. And Marty and Helena are on the other couch, not aware that a change has been made. That's what it comes down to.
And like, I understand why maybe Marty and Helena would be upset, but the turn of, like, how it kind of gotten turned around, as talk about, was really frustrating to watch, because now that we've seen it happen, and I've been hearing about it on the feeds all weekend, I'm just like, okay, Marty's right in the sense that there was a plan that was going down.
Yeah.
But Betty and Josh weren't the ringleaders fully. Like, they were there and involved, and it wasn't some big master plan to make Marty look bad.
No. And why would it be? Oh my gosh. But okay, this is true to Marty's character, though. We've seen this from Marty before, where he gets mad at himself. Marty messes up. He's mad at the choices he makes. And then he gets just so angry, and he has to sort of like fixate on, a way to take it out on something else. And this is where I start to give credit to Kevin, is that in all of this madness, Kevin was the most adamant, let's go. And Kevin's name is like not brought up at all. It is Josh and Betty. Betty didn't even go, yeah, let's jump on it, because I don't think deep down she wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
blaming this on Betty makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, and I do feel so over the weekend. Oh, I guess I don't know. It's a kind of spoiler
Right.
story now, and I wasn't
Oh,
expecting to have to like not talk about
I
the
know.
house.
Well, all right, we'll save it. Save it then.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
on.
I don't
Okay,
remember. Anyways,
so let's get through this whole like everyone is of course Gino's like, who are the two votes? Oh boy, now we got drama about these two votes. And
fun.
Gino is like, I bet it's Josh and Betty. Okay, great. Marty's gonna jump in on that. That sounds like it was probably Josh and Betty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He brings it up to Betty. Betty says, I would have loved to have voted you out, dude. And we know Betty would have been like, yeah, I voted you out. I'll do it again and again and again. But she's like, no, I didn't do it.
And Gino's read was really bad here because like Betty
What?
wasn't to me asking acting like somebody that actually voted him out. Like I would think I would be on like Summer's page, and Summer's like, I know it's Selena. I could tell, sociology major. Like I know that I could read human behavior, and I was like, yes, good on you, because I
Yeah.
thought that Helena was being very obvious about it. And anybody that doesn't say anything, they don't speak up, they look away, they're just waiting for the conversation to change. Like, chances are it's that person. The people that are like, it wasn't me 100%, chances are it actually wasn't them, because they want to stop people talking to about them and like want to exonerate themselves. And so they're going to be like, it wasn't me. And so I thought she was pretty obvious that it was her, but
Well, yeah, just
Gino
knowing
didn't.
Betty, being in the house with Betty for, a month now or whatever it is, like you should
She's pretty
know that
blunt.
she's going to tell you straight up. Uh but Gino's assuming it's not Marty because like Marty would never. He's already messed up. He wouldn't do it again. So it just would make sense that it's Josh and Betty. Marty is like, yeah, that sounds good. And Kevin's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would probably go that route as well.
Like the fact that like Kevin wasn't even an option or a thought, like it's like,
Not even. Of course not.
like
No, not at all. Gino is going to get this group in one room. It's like almost a house meeting. I was
I,
shocked Gino did this.
I was impressed. I was like, I thought it was going to be a house meeting as well, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's still having everybody there and seeing who's the liar. Like, it was definitely a nice stand down and like, okay, look at everybody's eyes and gather information.
And yet, no one in this room is like, Kevin tried to orchestrate this. No one.
Why?
Because Kevin's game is that good.
It's I mean, we get to watch it, so we were just like, how do the people not see it? And it's completely different in the house, I'm sure, but like, he was the one that said, let's do this, it's time to get Gino out, thumbs up everyone, make eye contact. Like, he was making sure. And then even when it was like, oh, we're not doing it anymore, he was like, like
Yeah. Yeah, Betty and Helena are like going after each other. Josh is like, I would never. No, lies, like Josh has got to cover his butt. And then when they get to the point that Marty is like, who was doing the thumbs up? No one says Kevin's name. No one. Like,
we'll
and
just be
I
like,
get,
wasn't it you? Like,
I do get like maybe you don't remember, but one of the five had to remember, right? Somebody had to remember. But no, everyone wants to protect Kevin. Like if Helena remembers, she wants to protect Kevin, right? If Josh remembers, he's protecting Kevin. Marty's just an idiot and can't remember.
or misremembering.
I guess. Misremember. I mean, it's a shame Betty didn't remember because I think Betty would throw Kevin under the bus, right? She doesn't
They're
care.
kind of friends now.
That's true. Oh.
She like loves him.
Oh my gosh. I could not believe that he got out of that little mini house meeting unscathed.
He didn't even say a word.
He was just like, that's a lie. Helena didn't say that. He like supported her a smidge. And that was it.
He's
Shocking.
just there. Just
all right, let's play HOH, guys, because it's drama and literally everyone wants to win this and everyone can play in this one.
Everyone can play. I don't think we've ever really seen one like this on either US or Canada. Have we? Or are you agreeing?
I've never seen one like this. So I don't know about Canada.
I mean, it's pretty kind of fun. I
It
like
was.
it's new, different. It takes some different skills than we're used to.
Mhm.
It kind of went
It
along a
looks
little long, but
right, because they're only eliminating one person at a time, so it does kind of stretch out. But like, I do like the lights are off, and they've got this like black light vibe, and it was less red light, green light than just top. Like they turned the lights red twice, uh, but it was still pretty hard to toss your hula
hula hoop.
hoop thing, and then to go. How'd they even know which one was theirs? Like when
There
they're
was like a little name
scrambling.
tag like
Mm,
on it, but it wasn't glowing or anything. It's like a white piece of paper with some scotch tape, you know, like it wasn't very obvious. So basically I guess people had to just keep track of their hula hoop.
Yeah, well, that was like chaos in of itself, like people just scrambling for their hoop to like throw it again. So Summer, unfortunately, is eliminated first. I don't know if she's still throwing comps, but she needs to stop right now.
I don't think she is.
Okay. Then Helena's out. Then Jacey-Lynne, Kevin, Moose. Betty was eliminated when everyone just got it on the first try. That was crazy.
Yeah, they're all just like
Swoop, and she's like, "Wait, was that? Oh, it's over." Okay.
I was happy that
She
Betty did a little bit better. She was really
did.
excited about her performance. Like
Mhm.
Betty wanted to come into the season as like a comp beast, and that has not been her reputation so far. So it must have felt really good that she was beating out all the other women in the house, at least at this point.
Yeah, she did pretty good. Um, so now we're gonna get Gino out, and that leaves us with Josh, Marty, and Herman. How I would not have guessed this comp was like bros, but we
I
get down to
think
bros.
like Frisbee, like I'm not good at
Yes.
Frisbee. And so, but like I know more guys than girls that play like ultimate Frisbee. Like, so I think they might
Mhm.
have that flicking motion a bit better than maybe some of the women. Like
I'm
it's
not
like
great at Frisbee either, but I feel like I could have
terrible
done
at
this
Frisbee.
hula
I'm
hoop
like, I'll go
one.
like this and it's like all the way over here. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
I
probably
don't
be better in
know.
hula hoop though, because I did take gymnastics and rhythmic gymnastics. So
Maybe it's just harder than it looks. All right, Gino's out. Josh, Marty, Herman are down, and then Herman is going to be out. So it is Marty v. Josh here, and they do take a few swings, but Marty is going to pull it out. Josh cannot take the win.
I'm actually was very upset. I knew the outcome, obviously, but like I just wanted Josh to win. I did not want to see another Marty head of household. We've already had one. I think that was enough for me. I don't think I need to see any more, especially after this week. I would have loved to have a Josh head of household. That'd been fun.
Yeah, I would have loved a Josh House HOH as well. I mean, I'm never really into repeating HOHs, I don't think. But now Marty is HOH, and he admits to us in the DR, and I do appreciate a little bit of self awareness that he is embarrassed of his mistakes. He's not nailing the strategy. He's not doing well with his game. It's messy, and that he's got to lie once again to Marty. All
Did
right,
you
I
know?
appreciate that. I'm sorry to Gino. He's Marty.
Lied him. Well, he does lie to himself often, so I could see
He does.
the error
It's
here.
true.
With Marty, I mean, yes, the fact that he doesn't have the strategic part down pat, I'm like, okay, good. At least you recognize that. So then stop making strategic moves. Like, just you have a target. Like, don't allow anybody to convince you of something else, because that seems to be where the problem lies. It's like someone convinces him to do something that they are saying is best for his game, and it doesn't end up working out. And so then he blames the other person for convincing him to do something that he didn't think of himself. So he needs to just stop listening to other people so he can take some ownership of his moves and what he wants to do within the game. The people that he will get out will be the people that he wants to get out, and he won't have any blowback from it other than what it's going to be warranted. So I think that that's the lesson that he needs to take, is like, do his own thing and stop listening to Kevin. Basically.
But that's it. Like, yeah, you say people, but it's been Kevin the whole time. Kevin is the one who can manipulate him to do something else, but Kevin has done it so seamlessly that Marty is still very close to Kevin and not blaming Kevin at all. This
Maybe
whole mess is Kevin's fault, Marty, and not a once is Marty coming for Kevin.
I don't understand Marty, so
The
it's hard
power,
for me to really speculate as to
power
like
of
what is
Kevin.
he doing or
The
why he's not
power.
seeing Kevin as a threat or as somebody that put these ideas in his head.
Right. The common denominator to the things that you do incorrectly are Kevin. But you go
Like
on, keep making the mistakes. I'm here for it.
when Kevin picked Marty in the chain of safety, like to force Marty into that decision, he didn't blame Kevin at all. Like, Kevin, why didn't you pick Alina? You know, like he's like, oh,
No,
I was
Marty
gonna.
was all like, "Oh my God, was it okay that I picked Alina?" Like, he's not blaming Kevin at all. Marty and Gino are gonna have a conversation though. Marty can only lie so long, you guys. He's gonna say, "Hey, Gino, it was me. I did vote. And let me tell you why I did it. It's because Josh and Betty trapped me." That doesn't even logically make sense.
Maybe entrapped, like
But like, is that really Josh's and Betty's master
no.
plan was to get you to
I
vote for
mean,
Gino? Like, in no way is that on their radar.
that would be a good move. Like, you know what I mean? Be like, whatever. We're not gonna do this vote. We'll just let them take the fall for it. It's kind of forcing people to do a hinky vote. It
Yeah.
could be decent strategy just to get somebody to be targeted, but I do not see Betty having any hand of thinking that far ahead and that 5D chess of it all to like be like, hey, let's all pretend like we're gonna do something and blame it on Marty. Like,
Yeah. And at the end of the day, even if somebody trapped you, you did it. You voted for someone who you keep saying is your buddy, and you're so sorry for going against them the other time and you'd never do it again. Like, oh, it's just not a good look, Marty, which is why
well,
he's so mad at himself.
I'm happy that Gino's like, shame on fool me once, shame on me, fool me
Yeah.
or you fool me twice, shame on me. Hopefully that will lead into the game because I feel it. Gino is very he doesn't really do much and he's very quite forgiving so far, and I'm just hoping that he gets a little bit of revenge in his blood. Like, I want him to be like, I'm coming to take people down that like were out to get me. I want to see a different vibe and energy, not someone that's just coasting and wondering who voted him out. Like, give me
Yeah, I mean,
some.
I kind of feel like we're headed that way. I mean, we already saw
Hope
him
so.
take out Kyle, who was his number
Ally.
one.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
and
would be delicious if he took out Marty.
I feel like he would gladly take out Marty because honestly, you can't trust Marty. Marty has shown you that, Gino. He is not here for your game. He even if he's being trapped, he's making mistakes against you, and one of these days it could get you out. So like, why? Why work with him?
I definitely didn't want to work with Marty from his first set of household. I'd be like, oh goodness, so I don't think that I would be inclined to want to keep around. I'm wondering if Summer, like he's gotten into some arguments with Summer, and Summer's still forgiving
Mhm,
him. I mean, I know
mhm.
it's a game, I know it's in the house, and so like you want to have everybody like be on everybody's good side. So I do get that, but I don't know if I could let it go with how Marty kind of acts sometimes. It's
I think that well, I mean, I feel like right now he's HOH, right? So you have to sort of like pretend like you've forgiven him and that everything's fine right now. But, you know, the veto has already happened. Veto ceremony has already happened, which means Marty has lost his power. So I think we will now start to see people be like, I don't know that
let's
I
do what we want to do.
really, yeah. Right. So, okay, let's get through this Wendy's though. Marty's going to take Jacey-Lynne, which is smart because you just screwed over her man. And Kevin Martin, season 5 winner, is going to be his guest.
And this is his favorite player, as we've been hearing out for most of the season. And he did get some advice, which I think was true advice, where he said, don't, you know, you have a lot of fans out there, but don't think about the fans. Don't think about the people. Like, focus on your game. And I'm like, yes, stop pandering to
Stop.
Canada,
Mhm.
please. I don't like it. I do usually like camera talks, but I do not want any pointing like Canada's watching. Like, are you going to do that in front of Canada? I don't want any more of that from Marty. So thank you, Kevin, for like discreetly telling him to like stop pandering to Canada.
Yeah, they've yet to listen to anything that these winners have told them.
True.
Even though I don't know Kevin Martin, season 5 has definitely been recommended to me, and people talk highly about him. So I'm pretty sure he's a fave, it seems.
So yes, it was really he I guess it's not really a spoiler. It's kind of like known fact, but he broke the game basically. So he knew he had a whole book of like how all the comps went down that he studied, like how to do this, the best way to win every single type of comp that he could possibly get. And so he basically wins out. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
he completely breaks the game. So it's very impressive what he was able to do in the end game.
Okay, interesting. Well, Jacey-Lynne's MO here is like, hey, let's get him to do the showmance's dirty work.
I was like, Jacey-Lynne has a strategic thought here. Okay, girl.
Yes. Well, she's relaying it. She was told from other people, so she's going to relay that information. But that's great. Do that. And then Marty is going to admit to basically the whole house. Like, most everyone is there. And he's going to just go ahead and tell everybody that he was one of the votes to vote out Gino.
It's just to get the sympathy vote. And I'm just like, that's what frustrates me. I think the most, I mean, I keep on saying that. I'm like, I think this is what makes me the most annoyed with Marty. But it's like he does all these things that he doesn't want to do necessarily, but he does want to do because he actually does them. And then he blames it on somebody else. And then he admits to it, so then people can be like, feel sorry for him, and like he's so upset with himself, and he's such a bad person, and he needs to do anything he can to make it up to them, and like, it's just like, own it,
right?
Or like, don't do it.
Yeah. Also, just like information is important in this game, and I think just like revealing all of your moves to the house is just, it's rookie. Like, that's not a good player.
No.
That you're just like, let me just tell you everything. And yeah, he's doing it so that they could be like, oh, poor Marty got tricked. Okay, it's a game. Yes.
Even if
trick
he did,
and trap everybody. No.
I'd be like, ultimately, smart.
And I'm impressed. Helena, meanwhile, is like, oh my God, I'm taking this to my grave. What is he doing? She is not making great, subtle facial expressions, and she is spotted by Summer. She's like, it's like, no, okay. Calm it down, Helena. Calm it down.
Look natural.
Then the next scene is Kevin is quote unquote trying to calm Marty down in the HOH, but we're gonna get a big table smash.
Boom.
Marty's really, really mad. Cut to be
scary. It was kind of scary though, like, because like on the feeds, it's like they're like, oh my God, what's that? Like, who's in there with them? They're like terror, like they're scared that something
downstairs. They hear it. I mean, but I just keeps making me laugh because he's mad at himself. He's so mad at himself, and he's so frustrated and doesn't know where to like put all of the blame. He's already
why did he vote
Josh and Betty?
Why did he vote out Gino? Why? Like, he should just ask himself, why did I vote out Gino? Like, all he needs to say.
I think it's funny that Kevin's like, no, yeah, I didn't vote out Gino. Why isn't Marty like, I want to strangle you? Because Kevin's like, yeah, I didn't do it.
Especially like in the little clip bit that we saw on the eviction night when they're all like at the end, like at the outros, and it was Gino, Kevin, and Marty that were in the storage room, and like you know, Kevin's like, it wasn't me, like people are gonna try to pin this on me, and like Marty's just like but like that was like the time where it'd be like he should have not started with lying. Like Marty just started the whole thing with lying.
Gino left, and then Marty is turning to Kevin because they know, and he's like, "You really didn't vote that way?" And Kevin's like, "No, I really didn't." Like, it's like, what? Why are you not mad at Kevin? Oh my God, Kevin is so good. I give all the props to Kevin on this. But let's go ahead and do some spoilers, you guys, because to be continued. We don't got time for that. We're going to tell you what happened. Are you ready? Song in the round. Spoilers. And then Chantele, you did a little freeze at the end. It was perfect. It was gorgeous. All right. Well, obviously, Marty has 2 noms, and it's not shocking. Who are his noms?
It is Business B and Josh.
Josh and Betty, the people who trapped him into this vote, are going to be nominees. He had originally talked about backdooring Josh, which I was going to be even more mad about, but maybe it doesn't matter. But anyway, Josh was an original nominee. He is up with Betty. I guess their final 2 is null and void. But we had a veto.
Oh boy.
And you know what? A nominee always wins veto and takes himself down. So who won veto this week?
Kevin.
Oh, it was our first week without a nominee winning. Kevin, Comp Beast Kevin, where'd that come from?
Kevin, I mean, Kevin with power. I'm scared with Kevin with power. I mean, scared in a good way, but
yeah. So Kevin wins power of veto, and we know that he likes to orchestrate some things.
Yes.
Yeah, he loves it. And I think that having the power of veto made him feel like he should have more power. And even though Marty, this was not Marty's plan, Kevin came up with a plan.
Because Marty does not want to backdoor people. He doesn't want to be that type of player that backdoors people. So
okay, he's got to let that go. Kevin, who we've heard this from him before, he would like Herman to go. Herman is his biggest threat. And honestly, I agree. Herman and Kevin are playing the best 2 games in the game, in my opinion, in the house.
100%.
I think even if you don't admit they're the best 2, you're admitting they're both are playing well. I think everyone can agree with that, right? So Kevin does need to get Herman out. Herman does need to get Kevin out. So Kevin takes this power that he has and he has to sort of get a group together to agree so Marty feels comfortable with it. And he is able to get the usuals, Josh, Helena, Gino, and Jacey-Lynne, to be like, yeah, this is a great idea. He does a lot of work, per usual, convincing these people that Herman is such a huge threat and that he's got to go, to the point that they're like, oh, sure, okay. And then Marty's like, okay. So Kevin uses the veto on Josh today. Josh is off the block. Marty puts up Herman.
Marty tells Herman to dance up onto the block. And that did not go over very well. Like it could be considered a little bit of the R word. With
if it hadn't just happened, it would definitely be that.
You just don't want to maybe cross those lines. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you wouldn't be doing blackface. We just did like a little, you know what I mean? Like it's just like in that kind of world where it's like, it's a little bit touchy, but I love even Herman afterward. He's like, you can't tell me when I can and cannot dance. Like I will dance if I want to dance. And he's like, and I'm going to stay here. I am going to win the next head of household, and I'm going to dance on your bus. Like, yes, Herman. Like, let's go. Like, I want Herman to stay so badly. I'm sorry, Business B. I do really like you as a personality, but I want Herman to. I need somebody to go against Kevin because it's going to be too easy of a game for him to play with like nobody going against him at all, or nobody that he has to like juggle his gameplay around. So I want Herman here.
I mean, I do too. I was not happy that this actually worked. I was hoping someone
No.
would see through Kevin and be like, I also felt like this maybe not, is it really the time to push so hard to get Herman out?
I think it's they don't know that jury has actually started. So they're thinking of, people that would be in the jury that would potentially vote for them or not vote for them. And they're thinking it's going to happen at 7. So they do not think that this person will be part of the jury. And I think that that's one of the other reasons as to why they want them out.
But Kevin pushed hard. He made it happen. I agree. Kevin and Herman, I need them to battle way further into this game. This is too early to lose Herman. Kevin has so much power and influence in this game.
He will steamroll everyone. And I think that he's just going to get better at comps because the comps that are more likely in his wheelhouse are going to start showing up. So, because I feel like this comp, I don't know fully what the veto was, but it seems like there was like maybe a crossword puzzle in there, or maybe I'm just making that up, but it seemed like there was a brainy kind of activity. And I feel as though, being a Aquarius and all that he might be kind of brainy. So so I feel like he's going to excel more in the later comps is what I'm saying.
I wouldn't doubt that. So to get this renom act, and honestly, Marty, it's not a backdoor, so calm down. I mean, I guess it technically could be
a
like
backdoor because
but it wasn't his plan. Like he
it wasn't his plan, but it is, I would consider it to be a backdoor for the fact that he didn't play in the veto. And if he goes out, it would be a backdoor. But right now it's like, we're like backdoor purgatory, kind of.
I guess so, yeah. I just think of traditionally, like, I'm going to put these 2 people up so that I can backdoor this person. And he was just convinced to put Herman up. So whatever your definition is, he got, Gino, Jacey-Lynne, Helena, and Josh to be like, yes, great idea. Let's vote out Herman. But now we have a few days here where people can pitch
want to do what Marty wants them to do.
Not want to do what Marty wants them to do. I mean, Betty's feisty. Like she might come up with some fun stuff this week, but I don't know if she's got any great deals to make. I don't know. Whereas Herman is going to work his butt off.
And Betty's strategy, I saw a little clip where she was talking about the 2 people that she wanted to put up. So I think it was the showmance. And so she's like, I would leave one of them off the block and then I'll backdoor one of them. And Josh is like, well, kind of maybe would want to put both of them up because if the person that you leave off wins the veto, they could take the other one off and they'd both be safe. And she's like, oh my God, you're so smart. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah. Basic veto strategy here.
Yeah. It's kind of Big Brother 101. There's actually been a lot of talk about going after the showmance. I think a lot of people would target Gino and Jacey-Lynne this next round, depending on who wins. But I think the majority of the house probably will.
Herman needs to feed that, just being like, everyone's coming for you. They didn't go through with it, but they wanted to. They intended. Those 5 people had intended on taking you out, but they just got their wires crossed. So, they're not on your side. They just want to keep you close because they want to be able to strike and attack you. He has to see that 5 people were almost going to vote him out of the game. And one of those 5 happened to win head of household. But if it was any of the other 5, I don't know how safe he would have been.
Right. Yeah, that's a good pitch to Gino. And I think whatever Gino decides, Jacey-Lynne is his vote. So those are 2 votes. It's a package right there. Right before we went live, it did look like Summer and Moose have agreed to vote Betty out and save Herman. They're on board.
Well, yeah, Herman and Summer have been a little bit more flirty lately.
Y'all, they have.
Back rub ass slap, a little ass,
oh yeah,
little
I saw that.
and talking about like he's going to take her on a date.
I saw
those
some
moments.
conversations with her on his lap.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, for a while I thought Summer and Gino were a thing. So she might be just like a friendly, flirty person, or maybe she's moved on to Herman.
Well, I think that if Jacey-Lynne wasn't in the picture, I do think that she has a bit of chemistry with Gino. When they do have a lot of their conversations, it is still really flirty. I don't know if you saw the clip where she was talking about how when she got into the fight with Marty, how it was like having an orgasm. You know, like if you ever talk about having an orgasm in front of somebody that you're kind of flirting with, it's because you want them to think of you in a sexual way. Like it's intentional. But she's like, you were thinking about Marty and having an orgasm, and she's like, no, but like just like yelling was like a release, like it was just like a release. And so she's talking about like an orgasm with Gino, and I'm like,
Okay.
he wants him to
Summer.
be into her. That's how you do it, though. You get them to think about you sexually. So
That's right. Then whatever you said after that, they're going to agree with. So that works. Yeah. So I don't know if they can turn Gino and Jacey-Lynne. They've maybe Josh. Like I don't think that they can turn, or Herman can get Kevin and Helena's vote.
No.
I think that's a package deal right there. But he's not going to try. Yeah, that's it. Well, because Marty's not voting, Betty and Herman aren't voting. So it's Kevin, Helena, Summer moves, Gino, Jacey-Lynne, and Josh.
Oh, Josh. I forgot. So Josh is definitely going to do Betty. And then who was the other person that was for sure Betty? Oh, Kevin and Helena. So it's going to be 3 and what, 4? Is that
you think Josh is going to definitely vote out Betty?
No, to keep Betty. I'm sorry. The people that are keeping Betty are Josh, Helena, and Kevin for sure. So 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm assuming. And then right now it looked as though Summer was the swing vote. So because Moose, I think, would keep Herman. And then I feel
Summer
like
says she's on
right now.
Oh, so you think the showmance might actually turn?
Yes, because they didn't fully. Okay, so I know we were talking about how Kevin kind of finessed everything. So Marty had this whole like, okay, let me go and see if I can get any information out of Gino. And so he's like, I'm gonna set him up to see what his response is gonna be. And so he pitches this because he wants to see whether or not he's going to try to save Herman or not, because that's going to be the tell of like whether he should do it or not. And so Gino was like, hey, it's your HOH, you do what you want to do. And so that's kind of what's giving him the go ahead. But I think after the fact, I think that Gino's going to be like, you know what? It's not actually very good for my game to get out Herman. Herman is a big target. He wins stuff. He wants to work with us. Betty said that she wants to go against us. Like, we need to weaken that other side. So let's keep Herman. I can see them kind of coming to that conclusion.
Here's where the problem is, though. Gino is Gino smart enough to not tell Kevin? Like if Gino and Jacey-Lynne flip their vote, can he keep it to themselves and not need to tell Kevin? Because I feel like Gino's going to need to tell Kevin, and Kevin is going to shut it down in some way. Kevin has yet to be on the wrong side of this vote.
I mean, that would be nice if Kevin got blindsided.
Right.
I mean, he would rebound quickly, I'm sure, but like it would be nice for him to not fully have his finger on the pulse of what's going on in the house. So that would be a nice little moment. I'm hoping that Gino's going to just be a little bit more vindictive now. You know what I mean? Like he's been duped. His friends have been like lying to him. They're on the wrong side of the numbers. They weren't picked in the double eviction. Like there's a lot of things where he probably feels like it's just Jacey-Lynne and him against the world. And so I think that maybe he'll just keep his mouth shut a little bit more because he's not that talkative.
No, he's definitely not talkative. He just, is definitely loyal, until he gets betrayed. But
he's in a 5 though with those. So with Marty, Helena, them
Josh.
2, and Kevin. Yeah. Josh in there.
Who's the 5? Gino, Jacey-Lynne, Marty, Kevin, Helena. Oh, that's 5. I was having.
Okay, I was like,
I was like, that's 4. Who's the 5th? Right. Yes, that 5. So yeah, I don't know that he can stray from the 5. There's a lot of talk about that 5.
But if Herman comes in, guns a-blazing, and being like, I voted to keep you, those people were plotting against you.
Yeah.
Whether they went through with it or
good.
not, they talked about it in a group. They nearly made it happen. Be scared.
I have a lot of faith in Herman. He's really good. He's already had his back against the wall. He's, been able to like scrounge around and make things happen and keep his game going. So I appreciate Betty as a character, but I want Herman here to allow this battle between he and Kevin. I don't know that I want
3
Kevin
women left
to lose too much power. Jacey-Lynne, Summer, and Betty.
Oh, and Helena. But if Betty
and
left,
Helena. Yeah, just the 3.
Wow. I mean, I don't usually like the boys show, but like Kevin and Herman are the only 2 people really playing, so I want to see what they got up their sleeves.
Exactly. I don't need Kevin to leave though either. Like I need them to both stay in.
Absolutely. I want them to battle to the end. Like that's fun for me.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah. At least like final 5 or something. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, what an interesting episode. I kind of love this to be continued, even though it wasn't probably fully necessary, but I think they're going to show us more Marty meltdown.
Yeah. I mean, do you think they'll show the fight between him and Summer?
Maybe. And maybe that's why they had to do it to be continued. To like really give it all to us.
You heard her alter ego Winter has arrived.
Oh my God, I love. What a great name that you can have the opposite.
Yes.
Now I wish there was an opposite to Sarah. Like I'm like, what is that? There's no opposite of Sarah.
I don't know. Say it backwards.
Harass came out. That doesn't sound right. Might be accurate. But yeah, okay. Well, Wednesday night I will be here with David for Survivor, so it'll be Thursday after the eviction that I will be recapping Big Brother Canada. What is your schedule this week?
So tomorrow I will be with Tara and Melissa doing the roundtable. So try to figure out how to rank these players. These players are so challenging to rank because I'm like, they're doing so much is going on. So yes, roundtable tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, I'll go live after the episode with Jonathan. Thursday, go live with Phil for Survivor. And Thursday morning, I'm going to do the last 2 Australian Survivor recaps with Ron. So, okay, that's yes. We're going to talk about it.
Week. Yes, we just watched that finale. Very exciting about all of that. All right, that's our week, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us live. We really appreciate it. And if you're joining later, leave us a comment. Let us know how you feel about this Marty HOH. The to be continued. I want to know how you felt about the whole fallout of this almost Gino vote, the whole double thing. Give us all your opinions on that.
I'm still so shocked by how close it was, though, because like when Marty was talking about it, I was like, oh, he probably just has this all messed up. And like the fact that like, oh no, he's actually correct. Like that was a plan that was in play. So
it was in play. Yeah.
I did love seeing that whole thing.
I'm happy to know that it was almost that close because I was like, you guys, that was the right vote. Like you got to take a showmance out.
It's the thing to do.
So I'm glad that they at least thought about it and we're close to doing it. All right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Winter came out.